Let's take a look at some shirts now. They're part of a powerful project in Hillsborough to mark October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it's called the Clothesline Project, featuring these t-shirts made by survivors of domestic violence. Eric Bunday and Liz Sauter from the department are with us to explain about this unique idea. Liz, you head up the program to help survivors of domestic violence. What can a simple t-shirt do in that process?
It can definitely help empower women and men as well who have been victims of sexual assault and domestic violence, to kind of help share their story in a way it's putting in, its airing, in a way, dirty laundry, about domestic violence. Domestic violence does not discriminate against anybody, and it's in our society full force.
Well, as I understand it, if you're a police officer, domestic violence takes up a lot of your time. It's one of the chief calls that you go on. Is that right?
Absolutely. It's one of the top calls that we respond to as far as number-wise. And it's also one of the most dangerous. I mean, just over the weekend in Ohio, a police officer was shot and killed responding to a domestic disturbance. These are calls that they're very dangerous for us, but more importantly, they're very dangerous for the survivors of domestic violence, those who are actually enduring the violence, enduring the domestic abuse, because it's kind of taboo. It's behind closed doors. It's at home. People don't want to see that. They don't want to, as Liz said, air out their dirty laundry. But giving survivors a voice like this and the ability to put it out there that, hey, I've survived, I've overcome this, I'm continuing to survive, and it gives power and testament to what they have to say.
Liz, I know you're displaying these shirts that have been made. How many do you have, and where can folks see them?
This year we collected about 100 shirts, actually, and then I have from last year, so it's almost about 150 shirts. They're going to be at the Walters Cultural Arts Center today from 3 to 7, and that's in Hillsborough.
And when you look at each of the shirts, is it telling a story, or is it sort of moving on from the experience?
Each one is different. Some will write out a story, and others will just do, a picture, an artwork, or something like that. You can tell, and just by looking at each picture and each, t-shirt that's on there, what that person was going through when they were drawing it.
How about the numbers of domestic violence in our community, or Hillsborough where you work? Is it staying the same? Is this a rising problem? Is it a problem we seem to be making some improvement toward? We're
making improvements, especially with programs like we have at Hillsborough Police with the domestic violence response team. We have advocates that are able to respond 24 hours a day, and what they do is they're able to help victims of domestic violence through the court process, through getting restraining orders, through access to services. And these are, you don't just have to be actively in a domestic disturbance to reach out to the unit and ask for help, to speak to one of our domestic violence advocates. They can call 24 hours a day to get access to those resources if they need to get out of a situation where there's domestic violence. So providing that has helped us out as police officers, because it gives even more of a voice and more empowerment to the victims of domestic violence, that they can become survivors.
Absolutely. And again, those t-shirts, the Clothesline Project, on display from 3 to 7. That's today at the Walters Cultural Arts Center there in Hillsborough. Thanks so much to both of you for coming in to bring